Comedian Chris D'Elia has just had a spotlight shined on him in a very negative way through a series of tweets that were just released this evening. These tweets were just released as of when I'm recording this, just about an hour ago, if not less. These tweets apparently show, as it's being said by the author, Chris D'Elia, contacting a minor of the age of 16 in an inappropriate fashion for inappropriate things. Now, before I say anything else about this topic, obviously, sexual assault, sexual misconduct of any kind is an intensely serious situation, is something that is unacceptable in every way, shape, or form, whether it be via the internet, in person, whether you get caught or not, whether it's whoever it is, male, female, it is completely wrong and unacceptable. The other part of this is that these are intensely serious accusations as well. So I'm not here to cast judgment, especially on a situation where somebody's just hopped on Twitter and said something, because at the end of the day, anybody can say anything on Twitter. However, there are tweets attached to this, so let's get a look at these now. So this Twitter user at girlpowertbh, Simone here on Twitter, she posted this sort of tweet thread, and she only has 1,514 followers. So this isn't some famous person, if anybody's wondering. But the first tweet says, "I can't believe Netflix cast Chris D'Elia as the pedophile in season 2, and she writes T.O. of quote-unquote You. So I guess that's the show. Like the literal irony. So I guess at first people were probably confused. They probably asked her to clarify. So she posts some screenshots, and this is the first one of these screenshots. Now, again, I'm just checking these out. I'm just reading them as they appear on Twitter. And this appears to be an email from Simone to Chris D'Elia saying, "Do you want to meet up tonight?" Back in 2015. So January 1st, 2015. And he says, "Yes, can we make out?" Allegedly. So, you know, obviously wrong. Obviously misconduct if this is a 16-year-old girl. She also went on to post a bunch of other tweets and other screenshots, including a message from someone who is supposedly D'Elia that says, "Send me a pic." She sends him a picture of a panda. This person says, "Ha ha ha, the fucking panda, dick." She says they're very exotic. The last piece of information that's really key here is this part that says, "Imagine being 16 and being groomed by a stand-up comedian twice your age, and the only reason you never met up and never got physically molested was because you had just gotten a boyfriend your own age." So, again, it's very, very serious accusations here. My only gripe with this is that this was casually sort of brought up in a laissez-faire sort of way on social media. And, you know, this girl was prompted to explain herself, and, you know, that's sort of how it came out. However, I don't think that this is the forum for this to come out. I don't think that Twitter is the place that if somebody was trying to groom you to potentially molest you or sexually assault you, and or if they sent you inappropriate messages, because I would say in most places in North America, it's illegal to send sexually suggestive messages to a minor. So if this was the case, I think it would have been much more productive for this young lady, who was a victim in this situation, 100%, to go to law enforcement, to go to somebody. And I know that there's a lot of situations where these females or males or people are not believed when they go and they report these crimes. It's a huge issue. It's very, very real. However, I still encourage people, from my perspective, this is the only piece of my personal perspective I'm going to interject, is that you need to report this. Because as time goes on, it's getting easier for people to come out and say, "This happened to me. This person did it to me." Even though this person has status and has power, this person was inappropriate towards me and treated me in a way that I didn't appreciate or violated my human rights. You know, look at the Jeffrey Epstein situation. Netflix created a full documentary series about the misuse of this guy's power. This dude was a fucking billionaire, and he was working with kings and literal kings and queens and royalty and multimillionaires and celebrities, and they exposed all that. And so people are wise to this now. People believe this now, and I always believed it. I always was talking about it to my family and friends, and they would think I was crazy, but in my heart, from the research that I'd done, I knew I was right. And a lot of people understand that now that didn't understand it before. So I encourage anybody, whether it's a male, female, if something happens to you, whether it's the world's most famous politician or world's most famous singer or actor or the guy down the street, report it. Because the more things that are reported, even though the justice system can be fucked up, it's better to have it reported. It's better to have some sort of awareness. So my sympathies go out to this young woman if this is true. I'm not in the position to say whether or not it is true. And in terms of Chris D'Elia, I'm interested to see what the response is to this and what the outcome is of this. It could potentially be fake emails. It could potentially not have even been Chris D'Elia. And this profile could not even be the girl that it says it is. I mean, we don't know anything yet. So I'm not throwing any accusations out there. I'm not casting any stones. And it's anyone's guess what's going to happen next.